Most small businesses don't get hacked or breached because of advanced hackers who are using sophisticated tools. They usually get breached because of simple, repeatable mistakes, the same ones that I see over and over again. So in today's video, we are going to walk through the five biggest cloud security mistakes that SMBs make. And as we do so, please listen with this question in mind. Which one of these are we doing right now? Now, the first mistake we'd like to touch on is weak or reused passwords. Now, this is still the most common entry point for breaches. All too often, you have just one password being reused over and over again. The same password that is used for email is used for cloud storage, also for accounting software, even for admin accounts. And that's all it takes. Now, what usually happens is this: an email password for an employee is leaked or even just guessed. But then after getting it, that same password works everywhere else. So suddenly, the attacker isn't hacking. He's simply logging in. Now, weak passwords don't look too risky today, but in the end, they turn a small mistake into big incidents. So here's a key point to remember that passwords are not just about convenience, they're about containment. A second mistake, very common, is no MFA, no multi-factor authentication. Passwords alone are no longer enough because even if we have a strong password, it can get stolen through phishing or data breaches. But when you add multi-factor authentication, you're adding a second check. So it's no longer just something you know, but also something you have. And here's the important part. Multi-factor authentication actually stops the majority of attacks even before they start. You hear that right? It stops not just some attacks, but most, the majority of attacks. So when MFA isn't enabled, you're actually taking a gamble. You are betting your business on your passwords never being exposed, which is not a good bet. Mistake number three is too much access. This again is something that is very common in small businesses. In small businesses, there are situations where everyone gets access to everything because it seems that that is faster, that is easier. But here's another line to remember. Access equals risk. So the more people we have who can reach sensitive systems, then the more damage that a single compromised account can cause. It's not because the people in your business are malicious, but it's because mistakes happen. Security isn't about assuming bad intent for your employees, but it's about limiting the blast radius when something goes wrong. Mistake number four is assuming the cloud is secure by default. Assuming the cloud is secure by default. This too is one of the most dangerous assumptions. The reason, oh, we are in the cloud, so security is handled by the provider. In truth, the cloud provider secures the platform. The cloud provider secures the service. The cloud provider secures the network. The cloud provider secures the infrastructure. But is that all? Well, no. You're also responsible for securing how that is used. You are responsible for securing accounts. You're responsible for securing access. You're responsible for securing configurations. You're responsible for securing data. But when businesses assume that security is automatic, then a gap forms quietly. And that's exactly what attackers are looking for. They are looking for those gaps. Now, the fifth and final mistake we want to touch on is no tested backups. If you ask many small businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, they think they have backups. They think they do until they actually need them. But a backup that hasn't been tested is just hope. And that's not a recovery plan. Ransomware, accidental deletion, system failure. And many assume that these are rare events, but they aren't. Without reliable backups, recovering from these becomes slow, becomes expensive, or sometimes even impossible. So you must see backups as not being simply an IT detail. Backups, tested backups are really a business survival mechanism. So please, if you recognize your business in even one of these mistakes, well, that's normal because it's typical of most small businesses. So the point here in this video isn't to blame, it's to create awareness. Because awareness is the first step to fixing risk before it turns into an accident. And in the next video, we'll take a look at these mistakes one by one. And we'll talk about practical, realistic ways that SMBs can fix them without complexity or fear. So please, if this was helpful, subscribe to continue to the SMB Cloud Security Starter series.